everybody, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're going to be doing another deconstruct video. Before we get into this video, if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe. It definitely helps the channel and it's absolutely free to do, and it will help you be able to keep up with more videos like these, get those updates when they come out. So without any further ado, let's just jump right into it. So as you heard in the preview, this song is kind of like an upbeat. I think it's more like an R&B upbeat. I specialize in R&B stuff. I make a lot of R&B music. And something that I want to press to you in this video is try something new. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you may not get the same, or you may not get the sound that you're looking for using the same exact things that you're using. And in this instrumental, I just did something different. And this turned out exactly how I was wanting. So let's go ahead and start out with the piano here. As you can see, it's a stage grand. If you watch most of my videos, or in a lot of my videos, I tend to start out with a closed grand or a grand piano, like just a regular old grand piano. Sometimes I use the grand piano or the closed grand, but in this video I decided to go with the stage grand, and it does have a different texture to it. I really like how it sounds. So the chords, they look a bit daunting, but they're really very simple. We're in the key of F minor. So the first chord that we're looking at here is a F minor right here, and as you can see, that root note is also the F minor. The next chord, it looks like it would be a E flat chord, but it's actually a C minor. So if you look right here, C is the root note of that chord. It's built in it's a C minor. I just have that root note put up an octave higher, and the note that is playing at the bottom is the third of that chord, which is the E. So it's really a C minor over E flat. Then the next chord we got is going to be a D major chord, or a D flat major chord, should I say. And it sounds a little weird because it's playing those two, but if I go right here, we hear that chord how it's supposed to be played. And right below, we're just playing another D flat. The next chord in the series is going to be a F minor. So we've got the F, the A flat, and the C, and it's over an F, so it's over the root note. And then we have this chord right here. It is an A flat major, and it's over the A flat. And then this chord right here looks like it would be an F, but it's actually a B flat major chord, or B flat minor chord. Because if we take this and we move it up an octave, we are now playing a B flat minor chord there. And then we go back to this A flat major, and we're playing that B flat over an F, which is still the exact same chord. It's just an inversion. And up here at the top, we're just filling in notes here. I took these same chords and I just adjusted some of the notes in it. Instead of playing them all at once like this one, I have them kind of moved out a little bit. So these two play together, and then this one comes a little bit afterwards. And then here, this note comes in pretty early, like the note below it, but the rest of the chord comes in a little later. And you're just kind of adjusting that, and you do that till you find something that just works and sounds good for you. And I played this top melody as well. All of these notes here that are at the top, we bring them down an octave. They're notes that are already in these chords that we're already using. So you don't have to try and make anything new, or as far as using new notes or anything like that. You just use what's already there. The effects that I have on this piano, very simple. We got a little bit of EQ. I got some compression going on in it. I got some of the Luxverb, and I'm using the regular preset on the Luxverb. I just kind of adjusted some of the decay on it, and I adjusted the dry knob, but it's just opened up Luxverb and the setting, the main setting. Then I also have this delay 2 on it, and this is what the piano sounds like just by itself. There's a second version of the piano where I take out a lot of these top notes, and all we have is just the stage grand here. And we're playing some of those top notes here, and we're playing some of them here. But as you'll also notice that these chords are cut shorter now. So we got this silence. A lot of times we want to fill up the space, but sometimes silence fills up the space a lot more than having something there. So I cut some of those notes short like these, and then these are actually going all the way through right here. These are cut short again right here, and the same thing, and it gives it this sound. So don't be afraid to use that silence, because silence definitely plays a big role. The next thing is I added electric piano, and the electric piano is this same direct wave electric piano that is in FL Studio. And I literally just copied everything from the stage grand and put it in here. I readjusted some of the notes as far as the timing on them and as well as the volume. And the only thing that I have on this electric piano is going to be some reverb from Fruity Reverb 2. Then I have the delay 3, and this is what that sounds like by itself. Just like I copied the notes from the stage grand and made them shorter, I did the exact same thing here in the electric piano. It's the exact same chords and it's the exact same pattern, just changed up the volume on those a little bit. The electric piano is just used to complement the main piano or the stage grand, and this is what they sound like together. So you can hear when I take that electric piano out, some of that vibe kind of goes away. That's because it's not to add to it as far as like volume wise. It's just to enhance the sound of it. So I have it playing a little bit lower in the mixer than I do the stage grand. After that, I did this synth, and this synth is playing the same chords. At least they are the exact same chords, but they're all just played out. As you can see, everything is pretty much touching each other, but the volumes are also different again. I found this synth in Morphine. It's called Synth Digital Hits. Sounds really cool. Sometimes, or most of the time, I don't use unusual sounds or very harsh sounds, but this sound was different. So I decided, you know what, let's do something different. And a lot of times we don't know what to add next in an instrumental, and sometimes it's just easy to add a synth. The processing on this synth is very simple as well. A little bit of parametric EQ, got some more of that delay going on, and then I have Destructor because it has this distortion, but it has this Harmor soft saturation. This distortion is a little bit different than that fast distortion or that blood overdrive. It just has a little bit of a different texture, and this plugin is a FL Studio native plugin, so you can find this in FL Studio, and it has a ton of great presets that you can choose from. This is just a saturation preset that I'm using. This is what it sounds like by itself. And you can hear it in your right headphone. You should be able to hear it in your right headphone or your right speaker because it is panned to the right. You got to remember, when you're making music like this, you don't want everything to be going straight down the middle, especially because, number one, it's going to be crowded. Number two, your bass and your kick are most likely going to be going down the middle. And then you just got so many different frequencies that are going to be kind of fighting for each other in the space, so it's easier to just move those to the side. In certain ways you can do extreme or not so extreme, but it definitely helps fill out the width, the stereo width, but it also helps with avoiding clashing from other instruments that sound very similar as in frequency. This is what they sound like all together. So you hear it adds a little bit more to it. The next thing that I added is going to be this synth, and this next synth, it actually comes from Citrus. It is called F Marimba. You can find it, and I didn't change anything in this preset. I just put it on there, and I added a parametric EQ, and I added some delay. And this is just to kind of accent some of those notes. So inside, I'm using just 2 notes, and I'm using 2 notes of the chord that's currently playing in that time. So right here we're using E flat and we're using the B flat, which the chord that's playing at this moment is going to be that C minor. But if you add a B flat to the C minor, it just makes it a C minor 7th chord. So this chord works in there, and then just kind of drew out a melody, very simple melody that walks down. And this has a lot of space in it. There's a lot of just empty space where there's nothing happening in this one because, like I said, space, that silence is also sound. And this is what it sounds like just by itself. And this is kind of a call and response kind of thing. As you can see, this steps down. This is going downward, and this is actually going upwards. If you want to be able to come up with a very good catchy melody or something that's simple but catchy, doing something like a call and response where one is going up and the other is going down, or the one's going down and the other one's going up, it definitely helps because it's almost like they're having a conversation. One is saying something and the other is responding to it. So having it like that definitely helps. Now, this isn't very loud and it is also panned very far to the left, but if I put all of those together, this is what it sounds like. There's another part where I have the strings, and the strings are doing the exact same thing that the synth is doing, but it's following the piano. The strings that I'm using is the string section direct wave, and you can find that over here in your orchestral, and it's just this string section right here. This is what it sounds like. And as you can see, I'm only playing the first, the fifth, and the first again. The only effects that I have on is going to be a parametric EQ, and I'm just putting this in its own space because without it, it's pretty wide. It takes up a lot of the frequencies there. Then I got gross beat on it, and this is a preset that you can find in Momentary, I do believe, and I'm on Grief. And Grief is going to add a little bit of time into it, and it's also going to add a little bit of volume kind of enhancements to it or whatever. And then I have the free reverb. Let's hear those strings without the gross beat on there. This is what they sound like. But once we add that gross beat, it kind of gives it a little bit of rhythm. And this is a cheat code because sometimes you don't have a rhythm in mind or you just can't think of something right off the bat. So adding gross beat is going to kind of give it a little bit of a rhythm that you didn't hear at first. And it just helps. So this is what it sounds like with gross beat turned on. So big difference once you turn that on. If I put all that together, like I said, there's two different instances of it. So this one is stopping, but this one is going all the way through what it would sound like with that on there. What they sound like together, I'll put it together all right here. And then after that, I found this guitar loop. Believe it or not, I found this on Looperman. And some people sleep on Looperman, but let me tell you something. Looperman, you can find some gems on it. Now, I didn't have to search far for this one. I just kind of typed in like electric guitar, blues, or jazzy or something. I did the little search thing, and this was like, I can't remember the name of the person who uploaded it, but I do have the name of it on here. It's called No Love Part 2, and then the next one is No Love Part 1. They're like literally right by each other, so you can go find this loop on there. There's no gatekeeping here. Just go to Looperman and you can type in No Love Part 1 guitar and it's gonna come up. But anyway, what it sounds like originally. So that's the loop without any effects. I didn't have to change the pitch of it because it's already in the key that I'm using. But I did do some changing up on it. As you can see here, I got it kind of cut up here. So this part right here is the exact same thing as this part right here, but it's cut up. So this little front part is cut up and it's pitched down. And then this one is also pitched down, just not as much, and it's shortened. And then this one is pitched down, just not as much, and it's also shortened, but it's to give it kind of like a different rhythm. And I also kind of move some things around because as you can see in the original sample, it doesn't look like that. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different kind of waves, but then here I got it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, and so I'm moving things around. You can chop them up and rearrange them. As far as the effects go, I do have a compressor on it. I have a parametric EQ on it. I have this Fruity Blood overdrive. Normally, I like to use hardcore or I'll use fast distortion, but this one had a texture that I really liked, so I chose to use Fruity Blood overdrive. After that, I threw on some chorus. These are really the main settings. I did adjust the wet knob here, and then I adjusted some of the depth and the delay, but not very much. And then I also used some reverb. I used some delay. And then there's a parametric EQ on it, but it's like turning on and off in certain parts. You heard it at the beginning of the instrumental, and it's also at the very end of the instrumental. I just created an automation clip for it that is here at the beginning. And if I was to play that at the beginning with everything, this is what it would sound like with that. It just kind of puts it in its own space. This is what it sounds like with everything on it. Now, if that sounds like it's a little off time or a little off beat, it's done on purpose. I know people love to get in the comment section and like, that's off beat, that's not off, that's off time, or sometimes they'll be like, that's out of key. It's done on purpose. Now, this is in the right key, but it is out of time on purpose. It's, you know, although someone really did play it, I still didn't want it to sound like it was being played in like a MIDI or drawn in like a MIDI. So I have things a little off time, and that's okay, y'all. It doesn't have to be perfect. People are not perfect. Music is not perfect, but it doesn't mean it doesn't sound good because it's not perfect. So don't ever be afraid to do things differently. Shake it up some, you know what I'm saying? It's your world. We just live in, you know? After that, I actually threw on these little loops that you see kind of turn backwards. These are actually this loop right here. It's just flipped backwards, you know, like right here. It's just parts of it flipped backwards, and they're actually going through the same exact processing. This is what they sound like. After that, you'll see that I have this other little loop right here. This is that part one, and there's much more to this loop. All of that, but I didn't want that. I just wanted that little small part right here. Going through the exact same process, and this is what it sounds like. I used it as like a pickup to the next part. I only put it in here just a few times, once here, and it's once here, and I think it's one, yeah, it's only in here like literally twice, just to pick up to the next part. After that, if you see right down here, these are just some risers, and this riser was created from me turning up the reverb really wet on the guitar reverse part here, and then recording it into Edison, and then I just flipped it again, and I put it on its own mixer here on 15, and the only thing I added to it was this parametric EQ to take out a lot of that high end, and it's just a transition spot right here. If you It's just a transition part, and it's very low. And then there's another part where I did the exact same thing similarly, but this is the part of the strings that where I did the same thing. I turned the reverb really wet on it, then I recorded it in Edison, chopped off the end of it, just that reverb part, and then I flipped it again, and this is what that sounds like. Same thing here. That's really all there is to this sample. I hope you found this helpful. If you do have any questions about anything in this video, how to do something that you feel like I could have explained a little bit more, please let me know in the comments. I'm happy to go back and show you how I did what I did in more detail if you are interested in learning something like that. Also, let me know what you think about the beat. Let me know what you think about these type of videos. I'm all ears, y'all. Lay it out in the comments. But thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next video.